We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. A double stabbing in the county, where it happened and the concerns police union leaders are raising about rising crime in the county. The decision to legalize recreational marijuana will be in the hands of Maryland voters this November. What a new poll is saying about support for the move and what it might mean for the state. And gas prices now rising for a fifth straight day after weeks of decline. Coming up, how much you'll pay to fill up and how it compares to the rest of the country. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. Happening right now, Baltimore County Police are investigating a double stabbing. It happened late last night in Cockeysville. Olivia Dance is at the scene with the latest. Olivia.
This is still an ongoing investigation, but what we know at this time is that Baltimore County Police received a call just before 7:30 last night for reports of a stabbing right here on Lord Byron Lane. Now, when they arrived, they found two victims who were suffering from stab wounds. Those victims were transported by ambulance to a local hospital where they received treatment. We're still working to find out the ages of those victims now, but again, this is still an ongoing investigation, and police tell us they will be releasing more information at a later time, so we'll bring you those details as we learn more. But if you remember back in August, the president of the Baltimore County Police Union slammed county leaders for their response to crime. Take a listen.
The people have a right to know, and they bury these carjacking numbers. They bury the shooting number. Leadership is failing. I think they're failing to be transparent. They're failing to be accountable, and they're failing to come up with a plan to stop the bleed here.
At the time, a spokesperson for the county executive said that crime is not rising, so we'll just have to wait and see how county leaders respond to this most recent incident. For now, reporting in Cockeysville, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45, Midday.
Making headlines after months of decline, gas prices are rising. Here in Baltimore, they've gone up 3 cents over the past week. According to Gas Buddy, prices in Charm City are now averaging $3.40 a gallon. On a national level, gas prices have been creeping back up after a summer of decline. According to AAA, the national average price for a gallon Sunday was $3.71. That is a fifth straight day of increase. Pump prices are ticking upward despite oil prices dropping about 5% to an 8-month low on Friday. Turning now to your Vote 2022 coverage, a referendum on whether to legalize recreational marijuana for individuals aged 21 and older will be on the ballot this November. According to a recent Goucher College poll, voters are likely to vote to legalize the recreational use of marijuana in Maryland. Shannon Lilly shows us how the change could impact our state.
Well, if legalized, this could lead to a big uptick in tax revenue, and that's a major reason that political analyst John Deedy thinks many people are supporting it. In fact, according to the most recent Goucher College poll right here, 59% of residents in Maryland indicate that they will vote in favor of legalizing recreational marijuana on the November ballot, while 34% right here say they will vote against it. 7% are still undecided. Now, this is all in line with trends that we've seen over the last decade.
Last year, Colorado took in $420 million in tax revenue. Legislators need money, and increasing taxes is never popular. But finding ways of creating tax revenue with sin taxes is always popular. And I think the poll really showed that people want to do something like this.
But Deedy says something to watch for, though, is the potential negative social and economic impact that legalization could have for people who just don't want to be around it. Take a listen.
We have to be very careful about making sure that where it may be legalized and it's being used, is it impacting communities economically and socially, where people say, I don't want to be in that area anymore. I don't want to shop in that area anymore. I've got kids with me. I wanted to go out and go to an event, and I'm smelling marijuana all over the place.
Well, if voters do vote in favor of this in November, as predicted, people 21 and older will legally be able to possess 1.5 ounces come July. It is important to note that the legislature has set up a working group in charge of looking ahead to the legalization of marijuana. That's from both a health standpoint to a criminal justice system standpoint. Reporting in the studio, I'm Shannon Lilly. Now back to you.
11:05 now. Here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one, juvenile crime is on the rise in Baltimore City. Over the weekend, police say two teenagers stole a gun from a uniformed security guard. It happened on East Fayette Street, just steps away from City Hall. It's not exactly clear what happened. Fox 45 News asked police for more information, but they said they couldn't give us any. The Charm City Live Festival was happening in the area at that same time. Trending number two, Baltimore City police are investigating multiple shootings that happened this weekend. 7 people were shot in the past 2 days. That includes a triple shooting in South Baltimore late Saturday night. All 7 victims are expected to survive. Trending number three, Johns Hopkins University will hold 2 more town halls this week to talk about the new campus police department. The town hall was forced online last week after, you heard right there, it was interrupted by protesters. This week's town halls are scheduled for Thursday and Friday. You can find more information on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Trending number 4, the Baltimore City Council will hold its second of 3 investigative hearings this week on the E. coli contamination in West Baltimore. At the first meeting, the head of DPW admitted to bungling communication about the contamination. Mayor Brandon Scott has stood by DPW's response. Fox 45 News will be at this week's meeting to hear residents' concerns and to see how city leaders are addressing those concerns. You can visit our website at foxbaltimore.com for updates. Trending number 5, an amazing performance in the fourth quarter for the Ravens, exactly 1 week after they lost to Miami in the fourth quarter. The Ravens left Foxborough winners, 37-26 over New England. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson with yet another MVP-type performance, 5 total touchdowns. The Ravens defense came away with 4 turnovers, 3 of those late in the fourth quarter. The Ravens are now back in the win column. Well, still ahead, big changes could be coming to Jeopardy, and it's creating mixed reaction from fans. The new rules that could be announced. But first, lawsuit dropped. The white woman who called 911 on a black bird watcher has lost her discrimination case. Why a judge tossed it out. And depending on who the 2024 GOP nominee for president is, Congresswoman Liz Cheney says she'll leave the party. The comments she's making about crossing the aisle. That's ahead.
We're going to see a mix of clouds and sun for the afternoon, breezy to windy as well, but temperatures that will be near average, even slightly above average for some of us. Also tracking Hurricane Ian, and we could have some impacts in our neighborhoods by the time we get to the weekend. So a high of 77 today. We're back to the mid-50s overnight, so it'll be a chilly Tuesday morning, and numbers on Tuesday afternoon will be back down to the low and mid-70s. We'll take a closer look at that forecast for you coming up.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
(11:09) this morning, Florida is under a state of emergency ahead of Hurricane Ian. Look at the preparations there. The latest update from just a few minutes ago has that storm staying as a Category 1 storm, but it is predicted to grow to a Category 4 hurricane. As Ian grows in strength, we are seeing the damage that was left behind by Fiona.
It just kept leaning and leaning until it finally came down.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands are without power after Fiona hit eastern Canada over the weekend. Nova Scotia authorities declared a state of emergency to many roads there just being undrivable. 11:10 now, taking a look at our social stream. Wyoming Congressman Liz Cheney says she'll leave the Republican Party if former President Donald Trump becomes the party's nominee for president in 2024. She made that comment Saturday at the Texas Tribune Festival. She went on to say she is going to do everything she can to make sure that Trump is not the nominee, and that she wants to ensure Republican candidates who promote election lies do not get elected. Here's what people are saying about that. Nate says she's already not a Republican. And then Rusty says, wrong. She's a decent Republican, one with a conscience. Well, Democrats are introducing a new proposal to restrict senior government officials, including lawmakers, Supreme Court justices, and their families, from trading stocks. The framework proposes strengthening disclosure requirements and increasing fines to $1,000 for every 30-day period that a person is in violation of the rules. It would also require ethics offices to disclose when government officials comply with the rules. You've got people talking about that. One saying, we didn't elect them so they could get rich. Another, if they ban stock trading for lawmakers, they should also review the last 5 years and recoup all those profits that were related to their powers to then fill in the deficit. A white woman who called 911 on a black bird watcher has lost her discrimination case. Investment firm Franklin Templeton fired Amy Cooper after video of the incident went viral. The video showed Cooper walking her dog in New York Central Park in 2020. The man asked her to follow the city's leash law, but she told police that he was threatening her. Cooper's employer responded at the time, tweeting that it would not tolerate racism, and then it later fired her. She sued, but a judge ruled her dismissal was legal. Here's what you guys are saying about it. One person, if they, let's skip to another one. I'm very sure they checked with in-house legal before they fired her. Their ducks were in a row. Shows you she's still not sorry for her actions. Another person, Daniel, saying all she had to do was mind her own business. Well, still ahead, a new report finds the FDA rushed to authorize COVID-19 tests, how the quick work may have compromised test integrity. And improving transparency, the new push from the Biden administration when it comes to airlines. 11:12 now on Fox 45 News Midday. (11:14). We are back with a live look over the Inner Harbor. A dry and cooler start to the work week. Stay with us. Coming up, we're going to check in with meteorologist Justin Chambers to see just how long the cool air will stick around. Happening today, Twitter plans to get billionaire Elon Musk to answer questions under oath in its lawsuit against him. The social media giant is deposing Musk as part of the litigation against him. The billionaire entrepreneur had agreed to buy Twitter back in April and take it private, but now he wants to back out of that deal. Twitter wants Musk to be forced to hold to the $44 billion deal to buy the social media giant. Happening today, President Biden is expected to announce new rules for airlines. It is part of the administration's effort to increase transparency in the travel industry. The new rules would force airlines to be more upfront about fees and rules. Making headlines, Marriott is celebrating the start of construction on its new global headquarters in downtown Bethesda. The hotel chain hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony Friday after 6 years of planning, design, and construction. The 21-story, nearly 800,000 square foot building is the new workplace for corporate associates. A government watchdog report finds that the FDA rushed to authorize COVID-19 tests early in the pandemic and that it came at a potential cost to test quality. In the first 5 months of the pandemic, the FDA issued more than 100 emergency use authorizations for COVID-19 diagnostic and antibody serology tests. According to the IG report, the rush to authorize tests resulted in some, quote, problematic tests being used. Now, once the tests were on the market, the FDA had to take further action to address the issue. The CDC is reporting 4.4 million Americans have gotten their updated COVID-19 boosters. It's likely the actual number is even higher since the numbers do not yet include the doses given in Idaho and Texas. The new boosters not only protect against the original strain of coronavirus, but also the Omicron BA.4 and 5 subvariants. A new White House campaign is urging Americans to get the updated booster at the same time as their flu shot. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 4, new questions about the structure of Baltimore City's violence reduction program. Why some at City Hall feel left out of the conversation. At 5, 2 boys steal a gun from a security guard. Why the incident is raising concerns about violence committed by young people. And at 6, truancy is off the charts in Baltimore. How city leaders are working to get students back in the classrooms. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash to your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and forecasts in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. 11:17. Now to today's talking point.
We've seen so many of the quote-unquote beefcake firefighters, and that's not what most of your volunteers look like.
Well, a volunteer fire department in Kentucky is going viral over its funny take on a steamy fireman's calendar. The photos making for a good laugh, but they're also for a good cause. Money from the calendar sales goes back to the department to help buy new equipment. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now, and we're not seeing some of the pictures, but you know, got the firemen in their suspenders and their fire pants and a lot of belly.
Patrice, you're not slick. I know what you did.
What did I do?
You were like, hey, this is the perfect story for Mark.
I did not say that.
Patrice, I know what you're up to. This calendar sold 5 calendars so far.
No, did not. No, I thought you were about to say a real number.
It sold 17 calendars, and that was 2 grandmothers and 12 wives.
No. I think it's a cute idea. I would buy to support the cause.
But you know what? It's about, we're trying to raise some money. Now, it has to be exceptional. The steamy, muscular fireman, that's exceptional.
But then it's not about the cause. Then it's about objectifying people.
Well, we know that's what sells.
That's what sells. Yeah.
They don't sell.
You're not wrong, Mark. You're not wrong.
They don't sell average pot bellies and fat people sell.
Aren't we trying to change that? And we're all inclusive. Everybody, every body shape, we're all just different.
Well, that's true. I don't disagree with that. But if I'm trying to sell something, you better put some muscles on it.
All right, got it. There's probably not going to be a Fox 45 calendar anytime soon.
No, the Be More Lifestyle calendar is not coming.
All right, Mark. Well, a nice dry start to the week after a few rain showers over the weekend, and we weren't the only ones seeing rain. As meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us, Texas got hit with big storms.
Taking a look at these storms, yeah, this is in Texas, and this is exactly what it says. You don't want to be outside when you see storms like this with that wind and that pounding rain. This is what it looked like there in University Park, Texas. We had some of those scenes on Sunday afternoon and evening as those storms rolled through Maryland, but behind that, we are nice and dry and actually seeing temperatures that are not too bad, even a little bit cooler. So check out those numbers over the next couple of hours, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies. It will be a bit breezy to windy, especially as we head later into the afternoon. The average is 76, so pretty close to that number. In fact, 77 for our high today. Sun's only going to be up until 6:57. We're actually seeing the 12 hours of day and night today, a couple of days after the actual autumnal equinox. That seasonal lag is what we typically see with that. But again, the breezy to windy afternoon is what we're going to be talking about. And checking our numbers, some lower 70s for Westminster and Bel Air, mid 70s in Cockeysville and Hunt Valley. The farther south you go, mid to upper 70s, that's where we see warmer numbers. 76 in Annapolis, even down through Richmond at 82 today. Heading down the ocean at 77, but most of us in the 70s along the 95 corridor for Philly and Baltimore down through D.C. It is a good day to fly today, pilots. VFR conditions, visual flight rules, but it will be a bit breezy at times. May see a stray shower pop up over western Maryland as we take you into the afternoon and evening time. Overall, though, staying mainly dry here at home into Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll pick up that wind throughout each afternoon, especially as we get Wednesday and Thursday more of that northerly wind, bringing in some of the cooler air. Continuing to track Ian, the hurricane that will continue to be strong, especially in the Gulf of Mexico. We could see a major hurricane by the time we get in the next couple of days, and being very close to Tampa by early Thursday morning, bringing a strong storm surge there. So folks along the Florida Gulf Coast are definitely preparing for that storm. And we're going to see some impacts here. By the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, we'll see some scattered showers around, especially Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning. And the Ravens game may be a little bit wet on Sunday with temperatures staying in the 70s.
All right, well, still ahead, big changes are coming to this year's Super Bowl halftime show. The new partner the NFL is working with and the singer they've just announced will headline the show. But first, after pausing production following the death of Queen Elizabeth, The Crown is announcing a new release date for season 5, when the new season will drop on Netflix. And a big night of all new television at 8, it's 911, followed by The Cleaning Lady at 9. Then stick around for your day's top headlines with Fox 45 News at 10 and the late edition at 11. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25. Don't miss this. Netflix is announcing a premiere date for Season 5 of The Crown. The streaming site had postponed the event following the death of Queen Elizabeth II, but now we're learning that Season 5 will drop November 9th. Views of The Crown have surged following the death of Queen Elizabeth. The company says viewership of Season 1 of the award-winning series has skyrocketed. The upcoming Super Bowl officially has its halftime artist. Rihanna is confirming that she'll headline the 2023 Super Bowl halftime show. The NFL tweeted the big news, calling the singer a once-in-a-generation artist. And speaking of the halftime show, the NFL also announcing a partnership with Apple Music as its Super Bowl halftime show partner. It comes after Pepsi, which was the partner of the halftime show for the last 10 years, announced back in May that it would be ending its deal with the NFL. Apple Music's first halftime show will take place during Super Bowl 57 on February 12th. That's in Glendale, Arizona. And you can watch the Super Bowl right here on Fox 45. The game normally draws one of the biggest single TV audiences of the year. Good news for Costco customers. Despite inflation, Costco is not raising the price of its signature hot dog and drink combo. The combo will remain at its $1.50 price point. The news comes as the company announces it will also hold off on implementing a membership fee increase. The company usually raises its memberships every 5 years, but the company is holding off, citing a surge in new memberships. Costco's regular yearly memberships cost $60, while executive ones are $120. Well, that's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
We're excited, Patrice. Radio legend Conan is in the building. He joins us with actually a very deep story. We'll get into that. Coming up next.